Game. Oh, we always hit the nail on the head. So check this out, my Miami Hurricane fans, my college football fans in general. The final college football playoff rankings has dropped, and I'm gonna be the first to tell you this. It's a bunch of bull. It's a bunch of bull. Now I got special guest Golden Blue Dude joining me today. Without further ado, let me get him on here because what's going on with your Golden Blue?
I don't know. I don't even know what to say, man. I was having a good day. I thought they were going to do the right thing, but I guess I was delusional.
Man, I felt like they were going to do something like that. I felt like it. Notre Dame.
All about the money in the brand. All about the money in the brand. That's all I can say.
I've been telling people, man, they lost a lot of revenue this season. They're trying to get it with TV ratings, whether it's Notre Dame, whether it's the other big names. I mean, Cincinnati didn't have the greatest win, but they're undefeated, and, you know, everybody else faltered. Florida surprised me. I'm very surprised at how that game turned out. Everybody had Florida getting blown out. They end up keeping it close, had a chance to win, actually, but Alabama got it done. Now, we're going to cover some of these conference games first, and then we're going to get into the playoff rankings, which everybody is itching to talk about because, like I said, Notre Dame took a beating, still made it in. We knew this. We knew this. But let me do a quick roll call real quick. All right, so we got Canes for Life in the building. What's going on with you, Canes for Life? Maiden Dade, what's good with you? Oh, that's you. Go Canes 25. How the hell did Notre Dame get in? That's some BS. Yep, absolutely. Absolute BS.
Yep.
Jay Play, what's going on with your family? What up, K fam? After watching games yesterday, we are so far behind other teams. Man, he got one more year than championship. Hey. It's gonna be fun to see next season. Let's just say that. But at the moment, we just gotta focus on our bowl game, which is the Cheez-It Bowl. You know, a lot of us was hoping for a New Year's Six, but we kind of blew that last week. So,
I still don't understand that though, because y'all finished ahead of North Carolina in the rankings. I thought they went by conference standings, not by rankings. So that one blows my mind. I thought Miami was getting an orange ball. I really did.
Yeah, Phyllis says, what up, Phyllis? How you doing, boss? Says, Miami fan, I got to give it to Florida. They was fighting. They put up a fight.
They did.
Notre Dame will get dragged by Bama, of course.
Yep.
I think they'll probably get beaten the same way they got beaten yesterday.
Yep.
Jordan, what's going on with you? OG Kane in the building. After what I seen last night, Clemson would win it all.
That's a good comment. That's a good comment.
I totally agree with you. And I even made that statement in one of my last videos. I think Clemson is going to win based on defense. Defense. Yep. Seeing Alabama and Florida go toe-to-toe in the offensive battle last night, most points scored in an SEC game ever. They were 2 points shy from hitting 100. So that was an all-out shootout. It was interesting to watch from beginning to end. Can't lie.
Yep.
Kane Juice, what's going on with you, fam? Football fan, what's going on with you? Oh, he a Florida Gators, man. Tough loss, but y'all put up a tough battle.
Yeah. I was impressed, not gonna lie.
And Nick, what's going on with you, Nick? How you doing, boss? You got BB in the house. BB also another Gator fan. Tough, man. Tough. Bama being Bama. They out. Basically, that game, they just outlast you guys.
I'm still trying to figure out the criteria that the playoff committee's using. Like, I don't know, man.
Money talks, bro. Money talks. That's the name of it. That's the college football theme this season. Money talks.
They just need to come out and say that then. Like, screw the criteria. We're going to go by your brand and your name. As long as you don't have more than 2 losses, you're good. You're good with us.
Man, Lenore's in the building now. Lenore's did bet me $50 that Florida was gonna beat Alabama. I ain't gonna lie, Lenore's, man. I thought you was crazy for making that bet, but you was almost right on, man. You almost won that.
That was close.
I ain't gonna lie, you almost won that. Let me see.
If he would have bet you on the spread, you would have lost that, man.
Oh, I would have lost. I would have lost everything.
Yeah.
What it
Me
do?
too.
What it do? Kane gang. What's going on, boss? All right, so we all caught up. Notre Dame has paid off the committee. Okay, so let's start with the Pac-12 Championship. Oregon versus USC. USC went into this thing favored. Everybody thought they had it. Oregon had their letdowns throughout the season. USC was looking good. They were sitting at number 13. Everybody thought maybe if they get a win, they could possibly have some talk in the, college football rankings or whatever. Whether it be a New Year's Six or even pushing for the top 4, which we all didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But they went out and totally got upset. Upset. It was an upset. I wouldn't say totally dominated because, it was only a 7-point win. So it was a domination.
Oregon was never not in control of that game, though. They had control of that from the beginning to the end. If people that watch the Pac-12 Championship, that was the Pac-12 in a nutshell in the past 5 years. What you saw in the Pac-12 Championship is what the Pac-12 has looked like the past 5 years.
Oh, man.
Pathetic. They're not a Power 5. They're not.
I'm going to put my Cash App in the chat for you, Lenore's. My Cash App is in the chat. And if you don't have Cash App or you want to do PayPal, you could go to just go to my channel and click on the top banner. It says support the channel. If you click on the top banner, it'll take you to my PayPal. But that money will go straight back into the channel. I'll find some kind of giveaway to give and stuff like that.
I got to start thinking about setting up all that stuff, man, because I'm about to hit 1,000, so I got to start setting up all that PayPal stuff myself.
Yeah, bro, the grind is real.
Yeah.
Grind. He said Notre Dame got embarrassed. It shouldn't. Man, bro, that was a beat down from the beginning.
Yep.
But, all right, so the Pac-12. Let's run through it. What did you see from Oregon that impressed you at all?
Defense, I guess, because both teams didn't really show much offense. I guess Oregon had a smidge more offense, but really, I was impressed with Oregon's defense and how they kind of just basically shut USC down. And that surprised me. It really did. I thought Keaton Slovis would, be able to throw all over them. I thought USC was going to beat them by two touchdowns, but that did not happen because Oregon's defense played for real. Which, when I think about it, kind of makes sense because remember what I said. The reason I picked Oregon State to upset Oregon was because of Oregon's rush defense. But Oregon's pass defense is actually pretty good. So, thinking back on it, I should have known better because USC can't run the ball very well. So that kind of fell right into Oregon's wheelhouse.
You say USC could have lost 4 games. I don't know why people were surprised when USC lost.
Yeah, that's true too. I agree.
At the same time, looking at our season, we could say the same too now. We could say
that's why they play.
Some of them close games we won, we could have lost them.
Yep. West Virginia had 3 of those. Yep. Part of it.
So USC shit the bed. Oregon walked off with another Pac-12 championship. This one is pretty much worthless. They was unranked going into that. So I guess both.
What about Todd Helton? What about their coach, Todd Helton? Didn't they say before the year, get a Pac-12 championship or get the hell out? Didn't they say something like that?
Was it USC?
Yeah, their coach.
Well, we don't know. He might be on the coaching carousel soon. We might see. This was a season that most of them would probably get a pass, but we haven't been seeing that lately. I mean, we just seen Gus Malzahn get fired, Muschamp get fired, the guy from Vandy, Derek Mason got fired. So I won't be surprised if there's some coaching changes because, I mean, a lot of these schools are not taking the excuse of COVID. So it is what it is.
I'm good with that too because, the more excuses you give somebody, the more excuses they're going to give.
All right. So let's step away from the Pac-12 and move into the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Controversial. You got Ohio State. Yesterday's game made a total of what? 6 games?
Yep.
6 games. So they won their Big Ten championship. Justin Fields pretty much walked himself out of the candidacy for Heisman with his performance. It was terrible. It was not what we've seen from him all year, but
right.
That's how they could crumble. Ohio State wins that game, 22-10. Another Big Ten championship, another playoff spot coming in at number 3, which I said that in my last video also that I thought Ohio State would be up in there.
Yep.
Everybody else basically got nubbed out. It is what it is. The playoff rankings pretty much haven't changed other than teams like Florida, Iowa State, stuff like that, or a couple of the guys in the in the top 4 just flipped. That's it. But as of right now, it's number 1 Alabama, number 2 Clemson, number 3 Ohio State, and number 4 Notre Dame, who don't belong. I'm gonna say that after a blowout loss yesterday, I don't think they should be in there. But
Ohio State either. Don't forget about Ohio State. They don't belong either.
Ohio State, that can be argued because if you match them up against most of the teams that was in the top 10, they would probably beat them.
Don't believe it.
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, I would have set a standard of how many games had to be played for you to be even considered. But they're not doing that this year. They're saying money. Okay.
Do you think they would have changed if it was a regular season instead of COVID, like trying to make out money? Do you think this would have turned out any different?
Oh, no. It would have been a total different story. Some of these teams with losses, they would have dropped way worse. Look at Florida. Florida lose to LSU, an unranked team, and they drop 1 spot.
And they finished at what, number 10? Number 10 with 3 losses? What?
Man, you look at teams like Miami. We lost 2 games, 2 blowouts, and we're sitting at number 18. So they put us we kind of where we need to be honest. That's being honest. But the way they treat half the teams that was, when the playoff standing came out, it was terrible. You could already see the plot. Everybody in the whole country saw it. They weren't trying to be sneaky. They weren't trying to hide nothing this season.
Yeah. I like the comment right there. Do you see this comment? The American Conference is better than the Pac-12. In one of my videos, I suggested now this would screw things up regionally because the Pac-12, is the power conference out west. But right now, the AAC is more of a Power 5 than the Pac-12. I think they should flip those 2 conferences because Pac-12 looks bad. But like I said, I know that would take, the West region out of the Power 5 mix. So it would never happen. But I agree with what that comment said. The AAC has been better than the Pac-12 for the past few years.
Oh, shoot.
And this year it was Cincinnati. But, it's been UCF, it's been Memphis. That conference is pretty strong from, about middle, halfway, all the way up to the top. It's not just Cincinnati and everybody else. It's been, a good rotation of teams being elite at the top.
All right. Let me make sure I put the right one in there.
But the one that I put out today, the video I put out today, I actually put out arguments for not only Cincinnati, but also Coastal Carolina. And when I say Coastal Carolina, people are like, oh, man, you're nuts, you're crazy. telling you, Coastal Carolina, man, they had some great wins. They're undefeated. I know their conference championship got called. That sucks. That would have put them over the top. But, dude, they played 5 teams with winning records. They're top 20 in offense and defense. There is an argument for Coastal Carolina, I promise you.
Yeah, but the top 4?
Yes.
Oh, man, that'll be tough.
Hey, go check it out, man. Break it down for you. I break it down. Check it out after the show.
If anybody out of the Power 5, I would go with Cincinnati. They was ranked in the top 10. They won their
What up, T2I?
What's going on with you, Sarge?
Hey, we might end up playing them, man, in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
Yeah, I was looking at
Georgia. Georgia and Cincinnati. Yeah.
So Sarge, what's your thoughts on the Big Ten championship? Ohio State coming out with a win over Northwestern by 12 points, 22-10.
Sloppy, man. Sloppy game. They played down to Northwestern, but a lot of people don't understand how good Northwestern's defense actually played, man. They frustrated Fields. Fields supposedly had a sprained thumb, and the only bad part is they couldn't stop the run. They just were too small to stop the run.
Yeah,
exactly.
The offensive line was the heroes of that game. The offensive line, they were the heroes of that game.
Yeah. That running back ran for over 300 yards, man. Like,
single game record for the Buckeyes. He set a single game record.
Yeah.
That's Trey Sermon, right?
Yep.
Second most in Buckeyes history too. So, I mean, it's questionable whether Ohio State should be in there or not. But I mean, at this point, we can't argue it. They're in.
Yeah. I mean, blue and gold, UNT2Y. Y'all know exactly why Ohio State is in there, man. It's the money, man.
It's about big names, draw a big audience, draw big ratings, draw more cash.
Yeah.
Think about it. Cincinnati is not going to bring in more money than Ohio State will. More people would rather watch Ohio State than Cincinnati.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, too, what that does now is set up a rematch between them and Clemson, kind of making it a playoff rivalry kind of thing. So they're going to see if Ohio State can get it done this time around, which I absolutely don't think so. I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to stick to it. I think Clemson wins this championship.
I like that. Alabama showed some weaknesses on defense last night, and
Clemson was good on both sides. Yeah, big time.
Now, also, so ACC championship also went down. Well, you know what? We're gonna get to the ACC. The Big 12, because the Big 12 played before the ACC. So the Big 12 championship, Iowa State sitting right there out on the edge versus Oklahoma. Now, I do believe this. If Iowa State had beaten Oklahoma and beaten them convincingly, they would be number 4. There would be no way they put Notre Dame in. Big 12 would have got representation.
Right. The only thing is,
and you know, the people in the Big 12 area, they would tune into that. So basically, Oklahoma went out there, won their 6th straight conference championship, killed Iowa State and the Big 12's chances of getting into the playoff.
Yep.
Hey, check behind me, man. Did Iowa State have 2 losses going into that game?
Yep, they sure did. But they had them ranked all the way up at number 6. They had them jump Cincinnati, who was undefeated, even though they had 2 losses. Iowa State finished the season with 3 losses if you count the championship game.
Oh, man. Lenoir, it came through, boss. I got it. Thank you for that. Yeah, Lenoir bet me 50 that Florida would beat Alabama.
Shout out to Lenoir, man, for holding up your end of the bet, man.
That's it. That's a good one.
Like I said, man, everything's going right back into the channel. What that does is it'll make it easier for me to do giveaways and stuff like that.
Oh yes, you're exactly right, man.
Hey, Blue Gold, do you have a membership? Can I join a membership on your YouTube?
I just do subscribers for right now. I don't have a Patreon page or support the channel or anything like that. But I do have a channel, and just hit the subscribe button. And UNAS T2Y videos every freaking day of the week.
Nice.
Day. This man will cover everything. Trust me, and he does it in a creative way, so you're not gonna be bored.
That's good, man. When I think of West Virginia, I think of Tavon Austin and that other quarterback y'all had, man. What was his name?
Pat White.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. West Virginia has a good, strong lineage of quarterbacks. We had Will Greer a couple years ago, Pat White, Major Harris. We got a few good ones out there.
Yeah, man. Y'all are always, competing, man. You know what I'm saying? You always have a good program. I actually got recruited by West Virginia Wesleyan, a D1 AA school. So I took a visit up there, and when I was driving up there, I was driving through those mountain tunnels on the way to West Virginia. I was scared as hell, man.
People don't realize West Virginia is like crazy. Like, you got to go, if you're coming from the south into West Virginia and you got to go through Virginia, you got to go not through one, but 2 tunnels just to get into the daggum state. And then even once you're in, it's a bunch of winding around the mountains, through the mountains. It's craziness. I don't live there anymore. It's almost unlivable up there. Like, the cost of living and the middle class is almost gone. So, I love my state, but there's no way I'd live up there.
So T2Y, do you think a 2-loss Iowa State team would have made it in over a 1-loss Notre Dame team?
I would have gave them the nod. I would have. If I was on that committee and I had to make that choice, I would have. It's either that or give it to the little guy, Cincinnati.
They conveniently buried Cincinnati. Oh my gosh. Oklahoma and Florida finishes the season with 3 losses, and they finish ahead of Cincinnati. That is some total. I know that they looked good against Alabama, but that's 3 losses. You can't just wipe 3 losses away just because, they looked pretty good against Alabama. They still had 3 losses.
Losing to Clemson yesterday was all part of the plan. Let Alabama sleep on Notre Dame, then the real Notre Dame will be in the Natty game.
He's one of my guys. He's going to talk with my team.
Oh, man. Ray been around for a minute. Ray been here for a minute, man.
Hey, what up, Ray? Hey, Ray, you think they lost on purpose, Ray? For real?
I like Ray.
He got Uncle Lou coming in here. Cheez-It Bowl.
Oh, no. Yeah. I thought they had the Orange Bowl locked down because I didn't realize they went by rankings.
Hey, Lou, the Cheez-It Bowl is the equivalent to whatever bowl Georgia's going to. So we're in the same boat here, buddy.
I mean, do you want Cheez-Its or you want Chick-fil-A? Which one would you choose?
Georgia got a New Year's Six.
They all the same. They all the same. They ain't the championship.
Yeah, we did get a New Year's. We got a New Year's Six bowl. That's true.
They're playing Cincinnati. Georgia's playing Cincinnati. Peach Bowl.
Georgia should be playing somebody like Notre Dame because Notre Dame don't belong up in there. I'm being told honest. Notre Dame does not belong in there.
But you gotta T2Y. You gotta look at it from Notre Dame's perspective. They only got 1 loss, and that's to a playoff team. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, like I said, I know why they put Notre Dame in there. One talks. They got that contract with NBC or whatever.
Yeah, so exactly.
It's going to be money. It's going to be revenue to be made up. A lot of money's been lost this season. Stadiums are half empty, if not empty. The Big Ten, I don't even think they had fans.
Nope.
And it's a lot to make made up. It is what it is.
I would have never thought they would get blown out. I mean, they got blown out yesterday. I would have never saw that. I never saw that coming.
That should be a disqualification. I get it. They have a great resume. They beat Clemson. But to say that a team that gets blown out is a playoff team, that just doesn't make sense. And I know Clemson got beat by Notre Dame, but it was without Trevor Lawrence. Their defense was beat up, and it took them 2 overtimes, and it was in South Bend. So that's understandable. But to go in the ACC championship, get blown out, and say, they're still a playoff team because of a playoff team does not get blown out like that. I'm sorry. That's not a real thing. That's a fairy tale. That's a make-believe, in your imagination type of thing.
Yeah.
At one point, the game was 34-3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Where do you find time to put Notre Dame back in there?
How many excuses are they going to give Notre Dame? This is the third time that Notre Dame is going to go to the playoffs or whenever they played Alabama in the national championship, and they're going to get their doors blown off again. How many excuses?
Hold on. So I've watched ESPN final breakdown of college football after the championships and everything. They broke down all of the conference games. And both of these fools, I'm not going to mention no name because I ain't trying to get sued or whatever, but both of these fools put Notre Dame in there as number 3.
Oh my gosh!
After they beat the Clemson beatdown, they made their selection. They put them at number 3. Number 3 after Clemson beat them the way they did.
Nonsense.
So I'm glad they didn't put them. I'm glad it didn't turn out that way because we do not want to see a rematch of what we just seen yesterday.
Yeah, we don't want to see the same teams play 3 times, man. That's just ridiculous.
Exactly.
But I think Clemson's going to blow the doors off Ohio State, too. I think these 2 semifinal games are going to be jokes. Clemson's going to blow out Ohio State, and Alabama's going to blow out Notre Dame. And that's the biggest excuse why people were saying, oh, that's why they don't need to put Cincinnati in because they're a group of 5, and they haven't played anybody like that, and they'll get blown out. Okay, so what? Notre Dame and Ohio State are already going to get blown out. Why not give them a chance?
And what I'm seeing with the Cincinnati effect is it dates way back to UCF. When UCF had 2 back-to-back undefeated season and never got to the playoffs. Right.
And then they crowned themselves national champions. They had a parade and everything.
Yeah, after beating Auburn. And then, next season they kind of went downhills and disappeared. But
did you hear what
that's kind of why they don't want to throw Cincinnati in there because they're going to say strength of schedule. They're going to, who have you played? Like Uncle Lou always said on his channel, who have you played?
But their SOS is close to Ohio State's, but they played more games. But I like what Finnenbaum said earlier. I've been saying this for the past 6 months. 2 choices, and this year has proven it. The group of 5 is not going to get to the playoffs as is. So you have 2 choices. Number 1, expand the playoffs now, like 8 teams, not this 16 bullshit. 8. You have to go to 8. Or if they don't want to do that, the group of 5 needs to split off, create their own brand, create their own playoffs, and create their own national championship. Because if you're a good team right now, you can
Blue. Okay, so Ray, who is a Notre Dame fan, says, when Notre Dame beats Alabama, y'all be eating crow. So here's the thing. Ray, I normally try not to bet on teams, but if you're willing to, I will put $100 on Alabama beating Notre Dame.
I'll go 50.
I'll put $100 on that, Ray.
Ray, based on their performance yesterday, I wouldn't take that bet, Ray. Based on their performance yesterday.
He said, you idiots don't understand how Vegas work. This is all part of the plan.
Okay.
Vegas is right and everything. I got 100 on Alabama. Just all you got to do is, put it in
it's easy money. It's easy money, right?
Hey, Ray called us. Ray called us some idiots, man. We'll see who's the idiot about 2.5 weeks from now.
Hey, I don't take offense to that, Ray. I think you're too passionate about your team. When we make these kind of assumptions about Miami, y'all call us delusional. So put your money where your mouth is. If you believe that, we'll go with it.
I could use a little bit of extra lighting
on Alabama, and all you got to do is put in the chat confirmed. Notre Dame will beat Alabama. That's all you get.
Hey, Blue and Gold, T2Y. Do y'all think Texas A&M got robbed?
No. Heck no.
Yeah.
No, they got blown out too. That's my criteria. If you get blown out, you're not a playoff team. They got blown out by Alabama. We don't want to see that again.
He said, please. Oh, my God. He said,
Would you prefer Ohio State over Texas A&M? Because I would prefer Texas A&M. I think Ohio State
A&M.
is I think Ohio State is freaking flounder, man. I think they're fake, bro.
Ray didn't accept the bet, but Lenore.
Oh, okay.
I will take 100 bet on Notre Dame to win against Alabama.
What about 50 with me?
Hey, Lenore's trying to get his money back. Lenore's trying to get his money back.
How about
I'll make that bet with you. 100 that Alabama beats Notre Dame.
How about this, TTY? I want to go in on that. That way, okay, if we lose, you pony up 80, I'll pony up 20, and then if we win, you get 80 and I get 20. How about that? We go into that.
We could do it. I'm taking a loss anyways. Because I know Alabama's gonna beat them, and I'm like, damn, I just lost $20. But I'm gonna let you in on that, man.
You saw my con artist abilities, didn't you?
I mean, hey, if for some reason that Alabama comes out and lose to Notre Dame, then
yep, I'm $20 out.
All right, at least I'm only 80 instead of 100 now. But I don't see Notre Dame after seeing the shit show that they put on yesterday.
That was awful.
I do think that Alabama defense is not on the level of Clemson defense, but I do think Alabama can outscore Notre Dame. And
easy. Yeah.
In the shootout between them and Florida just, kind of confirmed that for me. But I think matching up with Clemson in the championship will be Alabama, and I think Clemson's going to win that game. Now, Clemson. Okay, let's get to what was it? Clemson versus Notre Dame game. Let's talk about that one, because then we'll talk about the SEC championship, which, by the way, was a great show. Had me watching the whole entire thing, and I had no dog in that fight.
Yeah.
So Clemson versus Notre Dame. Total blowout. Clemson showed that the first game without Trevor Lawrence, without a couple of defensive guys, that
defense.
It's official what everybody has been saying all season. Notre Dame beat the JV Clemson team with their full team.
They were at home too. It was in South Bend.
Exactly. See, now
and they got as many fans in there as they could. I'm telling you. Legally, without getting in trouble.
Yeah, Notre Dame is definitely overhyped. They've been overhyped since they came into the ACC. I mean, congratulations to Notre Dame on making it to their first ACC championship, their first year in the ACC. Congratulations to them for getting beat, because that's what we all wanted, and that's what we all wanted to see, and we got what we wanted to see. Thank you, Clemson, for blowing them out, not keeping it close or anything like that. Let them know it is what it is.
Yeah, that's the ugliest. I mean, that's the ugliest game I done seen from Notre Dame. Besides that Alabama championship, that was an ugly game.
Well, the other beatdown they took from Clemson a couple years ago, it was like 31-3 or something like that. 34-3, 31-3. Telling you, they need some offense up there. They cannot just rely on defense. I know Brian Kelly. He's really good on the defensive scheme, but he's got to get some offense up there.
So football fan says Clemson isn't beating Ohio State.
Let's do another bet right now.
Oh my God. Hey, the ball is in your court, football fan.
I'll take free money.
Golden Blue Dude will take that bet with you. What you putting up?
I ain't giving up points though. It's gonna be straight up.
Straight up.
Straight up.
I'll go 50.
You said that Ohio State game almost got canceled, missing a lot of players. Just saying. Yeah. I mean, like I said, this season we can't we can't use that as an excuse, because it could happen to any team.
Yeah.
Do y'all think
Clemson? It happened to Clemson.
Do y'all think Notre Dame was playing not to get hurt just because they knew win or lose they were going to get into the playoff?
Oh no, I'm not giving them that. Nope.
If it would have been close,
if they wanted to win that game. If
it would have been close, I would have said yes. But getting blown out, no. I don't think they were that sure that they. I think when they got blown out, they were a little nervous that they were not going to get in. I really do.
Yeah.
Once
They were on the fence.
got blown out yesterday, you saw Jimbo Fisher started making his plea for why Texas A&M should be in there.
Right.
You got all these other coaches, even Dan Mullen.
He did the same thing. They got blown out by 28 points, even worse.
They always making a bid for it. So Notre Dame knew they had to win that game yesterday, or they had to keep it close, which they did. Neither one.
Which turned out to be false, actually. But that's what they wanted us to think. I guess I don't know. It's crazy.
I was not surprised that they put them in there. Like I said, they are a 10-1 team.
Yeah.
Everybody else behind them is what? You got two or three losses with the Big 12. You got Texas A&M lost to Alabama. Cincinnati schedules questionable. Georgia 2 losses already blown out by Florida and Alabama. So all the teams in the top 10, you already knew it was going to come down to Notre Dame. And the person that dropped the ball the worst, Iowa State.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
That fourth spot, Iowa State won that game. That would have been their spot.
Did you watch that game? They were down 24-7, and they almost came all the way back. And they had a chance to take the lead because Oklahoma was up 27-21, and the coaches couldn't get the play in. And so Brock Purdy was rushing, and they're going for the go-ahead score, and they couldn't get the play in, and he just chucks it, and Oklahoma intercepts the ball. And that was on the coaches. That wasn't on the players. That was on the coaches. They let the clock get down to like 10 seconds on the play clock before getting the play in.
Now, he said
a terrible clock management. Terrible.
Would have won that game against North Carolina. It would have made the selection a bit interesting.
Man,
they would have still kept us out of there. They would have still kept us out.
But I would have been making an argument.
I don't know, T2Y. If y'all had one loss against Clemson, I mean, you and Notre Dame are pretty much in the same boat.
Yeah, but
actually, y'all's loss would have been closer than Notre Dame's.
But you got to we would have also been in the same boat as Texas A&M with one loss and a blowout loss at that.
Yeah, but their blowout loss was bigger than y'all's. I don't think y'all's was that big of a blowout. I really don't. What was it, 31-17? That's not like a huge blowout.
Clemson beat us 42-17.
42?
The game was never in our control.
It was because y'all's offense. Y'all could not score. The defense did okay, but the offense.
Penalties. That killed us in that game. We was not ready for Clemson. So we played Clemson full. We played a full Clemson team. We played Trevor Lawrence and all those guys. They was all there.
Yeah, y'all played the Clemson team that played Notre Dame yesterday.
In Death Valley. Y'all played
as you can see, we did better than Notre Dame with all our mess ups when it came down to it. But at the end of the day, we lost that game. We lost to North Carolina. We was out of it. If we had beaten North Carolina, we would have been in the same boat as a Texas A&M, and the committee would not have put us in.
Yeah,
we would be sitting in the top somewhere, but we wouldn't have been there.
Gold and Blue, do y'all have any bowl game like holdouts or any guy that's opting out for the bowl game?
Not that I know right now. I haven't heard anything. We've had a few transfer, but no big names. Neil Brown, he's got our guys like pumped for next year, but they're still focused on the bowl game. I still don't know who. Y'all know who West Virginia plays? I have no idea what bowl, who we're playing, any of that stuff. I haven't looked it up.
Let me see. I can pull up. I'm gonna try to find them.
I know we get the guaranteed rate ball, and if I had to guess, I'm going to say we either play Maryland or Wisconsin. I'm going to say Wisconsin in the guaranteed rate ball. That's my official guess.
Let's see if I can find it now. All I know is we playing in the Cheez-It Bowl.
Cheez-It. Take a lot of pictures. Cheez-It.
Oh, man.
You know, me and the two Irish brothers, we talk a lot. They have a YouTube channel. It's small, but it's growing. And they did this thing where they went back and looked at the bowls before they got all these advertisings and sponsors. And you don't realize, like some of it, like the pecan bowl, the tangerine bowl, a lot of these bowls actually used to make sense. Now, the Cheez-It Bowl, the Tony the Tiger Bowl, which is supposed to be the Sun Bowl, it got canceled. But a lot of crazy names out there now. Let's see, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, the one we're in, used to be called the Cactus Bowl. It's in Arizona.
Okay, so I'm looking through this real quick just to make sure that it's, correct or whatever.
We were in line for the Liberty Bowl, but then TCU beat Oklahoma State.
All right, perfect. So I have it here. So we could run through these bowl games.
Nice.
Man.
I haven't got a chance to see that.
It's a tough one, man. Okay, so according to, this is on NCAA.com.
Mm-hmm.
So according to them, 2021, schedule scores, TV listing, matchup information. So the 19th, which I already passed, that was SMU UTSA. That got canceled.
Yeah, that got canceled because of SMU.
The 21st, which is tomorrow, that'll be Appalachian State versus North Texas. 2 p.m. on ESPN. Most people won't watch that.
North Texas in a bowl game? What? I didn't see that coming.
If I see North Texas, they got one of the best receivers in college football plays for them. So that'll be the only reason why I watch that game.
Yeah.
Now,
didn't they finish the season with a losing record? Some of these bowls are going to look ridiculous.
Now, on the 22nd, you have the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Nevada versus Tulane. That'll be at 3:30, also on ESPN. Nobody probably will be watching that either.
Tulane, what? Oh my gosh, that doesn't make any sense.
Also, 7 o'clock that night, UCF versus BYU, the Boca Raton Bowl.
I like it.
That'll be right here in my backyard in Boca, Florida.
I like that.
That should be a good one.
Yeah.
Now you got on the 23rd, the RL Carriers New Orleans Bowl, Louisiana Tech versus Georgia Southern. That's at 3 p.m. Nobody probably going to be watching that.
I got Georgia Southern on that. Georgia Southern is a better team than people realize.
Yeah, they always have a good program.
Most of these earlier games, you got to understand, people will still be at work. Most people will still be at work.
Yeah.
So now you got the Montgomery Bowl, Memphis versus FAU.
That's at FAU. 7.
That's at 7. ESPN.
Oh, I just got breaking news. We're in the Liberty Bowl, actually. West Virginia made the Liberty Bowl. That's surprising. That is surprising. Wow.
Let me see.
It literally just popped up on my screen whenever we were looking at this. Wow. We got invited to the Liberty Bowl.
Okay.
So you must have canceled or something. I don't know.
So on the 24th, day before Christmas, you have the New Mexico Bowl. That'll be Hawaii versus Houston. 3:30 p.m.
A lot of scoring in that game.
Yeah. I'll take Houston in that one.
Yeah. And on Christmas Day, you got the Camellia Bowl, which is Buffalo versus Marshall. 2:30 ESPN.
That could be a good game right there. That one could be a good one.
Yeah, but this is exactly why the committee do what they does. Because we're looking at these games now, and half of us are saying, I'm not going to watch that. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Most people, hold on. You know what?
I'm not a normal person. I'm obsessed with college football.
Let me not jump to assumption. Everybody in the chat, so far, the bowl games that I've called out, how many of you guys are going to watch any of those bowl games? Be totally honest. How many of y'all going to watch any of those bowl games I just named? Other than Golden Blue Dude.
It's a disease, man.
Any of those?
It's a disease, man. I'm obsessed.
I'm gonna check the score after those games.
I mean, I'm gonna watch the Liberty Bowl just because of Gold and Blue, just so I can troll them if they do bad, you know.
Oh man.
Okay, so Florida fan says 0.
I'm trying to. So we should get an SEC team. We might get Kentucky. Oh, I just thought of, and Neil Brown, his dream job, our head coach, his dream job is Kentucky. So, hopefully we draw Kentucky and we pound them and kind of discourage him from going to Kentucky if they ever open up.
There you go.
Trevor says none. So basically, half of these bowl. Okay, Hurricane Kilo say I'm watching. Okay, so
there you go.
watching.
He's on board with the sickness.
I mean, you got to be a diehard college fan to watch these games, or just bored out of your damn mind,
or a little bit of both.
Just bored out of your mind.
Now that you don't have the NCAA video game on anything, I mean, they cut it in 2014. You can't get into bowl games no more because when you play the video game, you could go through all the bowl games, you could play with these teams, and you knew the players or at least their numbers. But now the NCAA football is gone, man. It's not the same.
Okay, so Ray say I ain't watching West Virginia now that I know he's a Notre Dame hater.
Well. I ain't no Notre Dame hater. No, that
Trevor
is not
Notre
the case
Dame or
at all.
frauds. You said Notre Dame or frauds. Hey. All right, so the 26th, you got the Union Home Mortgage. Whatever.
What the heck?
That doesn't even have any teams listed.
Oh.
But that'll be at 12 p.m. ABC. So that game has not – it'll be in Tampa, Florida. But that game has not been selected. The teams have not been selected. Okay, so you got the Cure Bowl. Number 12, Coastal Carolina versus Liberty. That'll be in Orlando, 12 o'clock. ESPN.
I got Coastal Carolina losing that game. I got Liberty beating them.
I'm going to take Liberty also basically because they beat 2 Power 5 teams in the
Right.
And they barely lost to Virginia Tech. So I'm going to take – wait, actually not Virginia Tech, North Carolina State. I'm sorry. So I'm going to go with Liberty on that. Coastal Carolina could upset them. Coastal Carolina could win that game, but I'm going to take Liberty based on what I've seen from Liberty. I didn't watch too much of Coastal Carolina. I just know that they are undefeated, and they beat BYU. All right, so same day, you got that Surf Pro First Responder Bowl. That'll be Louisiana versus UTSA. 3 p.m. ABC. Not watching it.
Nah.
I'm not watching that.
I mean, I might take a look at the highlights because Louisiana, they have a good quarterback. But, nah, I'm not watching it.
Yeah. Then you got the Linden Tree Bowl. Western Kentucky versus Georgia State. 3 p.m. Not watching it. ESPN.
Nah.
That'll be in Mobile, Alabama. I mean, this game probably be watched by people from Kentucky and Georgia. Just their fan base, but I don't think the whole world will tune in for that one. We can move on. Radiance Technology Independence Bowl, Army versus to be announced. So this is Army's bowl game. They haven't named their opponent yet. That'll be basically the same place where Miami played last year against LA Tech, same stadium.
Army's had a good year. They won the Commander-in-Chief trophy. They beat the Naval Academy. They beat Air Force Academy. It's the first time they won the Commander-in-Chief, I think, since like 2017, 2018.
What's it called? Isn't it the Try something? I forgot the name of where it's like Army versus Navy versus Air Force.
Yeah, it's the Commander-in-Chief trophy. When you beat all of the service academies, you get the Commander-in-Chief trophy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we got the guaranteed rate bowl. That one's yet to be announced. That'll be at 10:15 p.m. on ESPN, Arizona in Chasefield. Has yet been announced.
Arizona just got their coach fired. Their Kevin Sumlin. They just got their coach fired.
Now the Military Bowl has not been announced either. That'll be at 2:30 ESPN. That'll be in Maryland.
Yep, it's in Annapolis. It's at the Naval Academy, actually.
Yeah, and now you have the Cheez-It Bowl, number 18 Miami versus number 21 Oklahoma State in Orlando, same place where we played Florida last season. 5:30 ESPN. Now I definitely will be watching that.
Chuba Hubbard's not playing, man, so y'all should be all right.
Yeah, I'm definite. As a matter of fact, let's do some premature. Let's see in the chat. Premature score predictions. Who y'all got in this game? Wait, what happened to Gold and Blue Dude? Let me put the link back in there for him. Gold and Blue Dude, the link is in the chat. Just click on it. So, who you got, Sergeant AR-10? Miami,
I got y'all,
Oklahoma State.
I got y'all winning by 6 over Oklahoma State. I got Oklahoma State putting up 21 and y'all putting up 27.
So you think it'll be a close game?
Yeah, I think it'll be a close one.
What are we talking about?
Now I do believe Miami versus Oklahoma State. Now I do believe we do win this game. I do believe we win this game. I do believe it'll be a close matchup, but the Big 12 is not known for defense, especially with teams like Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. You know, it's always shootouts with them. Miami do have a defense that could combat these teams. So I do think we win this game, but it'll all depends on how we come out in the beginning of the game. If we come out flat, it'll be close. If not, we might could pull a win and, you know, get a bowl win because we've been lacking in that department.
I think y'all players will come out hungry, man. You know, looking at their last performance against North Carolina, I think they'll come out hungry and fired up, man. So I think y'all will get the win.
Now we do have a Miami fan that say I see us losing like 35-21.
Damn,
he's predicting.
I got Miami. Oklahoma State, their offense has underperformed the whole year. They were supposed to have one of the best offenses, and it's been bad. They've actually had a good defense, and their offense is terrible. I think Miami could probably embarrass Oklahoma State. I really do. Like, they don't look good at all.
With them not having Chuba, man, I think y'all will be good.
And Trevor says Miami winning 35-34. So 1 point win, close game, down to the wire.
20-point win for the Canes.
Let me see if anybody else weighed in on their score. Okay, so Miami 35-34. That's Trevor's prediction. All right, let's move on here. So you got the Valero Alamo Bowl, number 20 Texas versus Colorado. That's at 9 p.m. and that's also in Texas.
I got Texas. Easy.
So no.
Colorado ain't got no defense. Their offense is all right, but their defense is bad. Texas.
I got Texas over Colorado. They was getting a lot of hype because they was undefeated, but I don't think Colorado is any good at all.
No, they're not. Their defense is bad, real bad. It's like 108th in the nation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's bad. Pac-12 going to get lit up in that game. Did he cut out or did I cut out?
Nah, you good, man. I think T2Y cut out.
Yeah. I see his mouth.
I'm sorry, my mic was basically filter out some of the sound, but it's like I hope we win this, you know, go out on a high note. That's all we can ask for, you know. Coming off that loss to North Carolina, it'll be good to get that bad taste out of our mouth.
Oh yeah. I think it happens.
Jordan, who's a Florida State fan, I just like Miami is going downhill after North Carolina. I mean,
I think it could be the opposite. I think it could light them up.
Yeah, me too. I think they got motivation now.
Yeah. Because they're better than what we saw. It literally, what it looked like was, it looked like North Carolina knew Miami's playbook. Like, that's how weird it was. I've never seen anything like that. It was weird to watch.
Look at it this way. Matt Brown, their head coach, fired Manny Diaz. Manny Diaz was basically calling the defense for them at Texas.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
We already knew what Manny was running. And it's 2 years in a row that he's out coached them. So it is what it is. Now,
yeah.
Manny's going
That's why I think it was a one-off. That was a one-off game.
Yeah, Manny's going to have to make some defensive adjustments because we're going to have to compete with North Carolina for the next couple seasons. They're on the rise. They're not, they're not no pushover at the moment.
Yeah.
Hey fellas, I'm about to step out and grab some dinner, man. I'll catch up with y'all.
All right, man.
Take it easy.
Yeah, make sure you post your score predictions on that Cincinnati, Georgia. I want to know what y'all think.
Oh yeah.
I got Georgia beating them.
All right, cool.
I got Georgia.
I gotta look that one up, man. I don't know.
Florida Trucker say Oklahoma State by 6. So so you think Oklahoma's gonna beat Miami? We'll see. We'll see.
All right. I'll catch up with y'all, man.
All right, man.
Take it easy.
All right.
If it was Oklahoma, I would say yes, but not Oklahoma State. No.
Right.
No.
So now, Duke's Mayo Bowl. That'll be Wake Forest versus Wisconsin. That'll be the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. 12 p.m. ESPN.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
It depends on if Wisconsin can score any points. I think Wake Forest is better than people think, and Wisconsin, their offense is basically non-existent. I think I'm going to have to take Wake Forest. Crazy as it sounds.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with Wake Forest on that also. I haven't seen much of Wisconsin this season, and when I did see them, they, kind of shit the bed a little bit. So
they've done bad with a bad schedule. So I don't, they're not any good. Not any good at all.
Okay, so we got the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl. That has yet to be announced, but that'll be in Tennessee, 3 p.m. ESPN.
There for a minute, I thought that one got canceled.
All right, so here we got the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. That'll be number 6 Oklahoma versus number 7 Florida.
Sooners.
I'm going Florida on this one.
No, I think Florida's lack of – I know they look really good against Alabama, but I think their lack of a passing defense will be their undoing because Oklahoma is really good on defense, and we all know they've always been good on offense. I'll take the Sooners in that one.
You make an interesting point. I think
just don't knee-jerk because of the Alabama game.
After the letdown last night for Florida, plus I got a Florida fan in here talking trash about we're going to lose. I think I'm going to take Oklahoma on this one too.
I think we saw everything Florida had and then some last night, and I think they'll be spent, and Oklahoma will be clicking on all cylinders, and, yeah, I'll take the Sooners.
Yeah, I don't think Florida got over the shoe.
Yeah.
I think the shoe's still causing nightmares. But, yeah, I'm going to take Oklahoma on this one. Screw you, Florida. Damn baby lizards. Okay, so the LA Bowl, that's been canceled. So December 31st, you have the Lockheed Martin Armed Force Bowl. That one's yet to be announced. That's 12 o'clock ESPN. Then you have the Arizona Bowl. That's San Jose State versus Ball State, 2 p.m. CBS, and that'll be in Arizona.
San Jose State. They just beat Boise State. I'll take them.
Yeah, I'll take San Jose State. I've yet to even watch any of those two teams play. I'm just gonna go with you on that one. AutoZone Liberty Bowl yet to be announced. That'll be in Memphis, Tennessee, 4 p.m. ESPN.
West Virginia was invited. I got an update on that, so I know we're playing in it. And you said Wisconsin was playing somebody else, so we no, that's the SEC. We'll probably get Kentucky.
Okay, so most likely that'll be West Virginia versus Kentucky.
Yeah, Hatfields versus the McCoys. That's what that'll be.
All right, and then you have the Texas Bowl. That yet to be announced. That'll be in Houston. That'll be 8 p.m. ESPN. Okay, so going into the New Year Bowl, you got Ticket Smart Birmingham Bowl yet to be announced, 12 o'clock, ESPN 2 in Alabama. Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, that'll be number 8 Cincinnati versus number 9 Georgia. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta, 12 o'clock, ESPN. Let's talk about it.
I hate saying this, but I think I'm going to have to take Georgia.
What's going on with you, Miami boy?
What's going on, bud?
So you're going with Georgia?
Yeah, and I know that doesn't help my argument with wanting Cincinnati in the playoffs, but I think for some reason Georgia, even when they go up against somebody that's better than them, and I do think Cincinnati's better, they always show up in these New Year's Six bowls and get a win and make everybody look silly, but can't get to the national championship. And it's in Atlanta, so I know it's COVID and there's probably not going to be that many people there, but there's nothing like being able to sleep in your own bed, and those players will be able to sleep in their own bed because Atlanta's not that far from Athens. I'll take Georgia.
Yeah, that'll be a total home game for Georgia.
Yeah.
All right, so let me catch up. Trevor says the Big 12 is overrated. Won't be surprised if it's a blowout.
The Big 12's not rated at all. Like, they're not in the playoffs or national. What are you talking about? Like, overrated.
Cincinnati upset by a field goal.
That one looks like a good prediction. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Florida. I'm gonna go with Georgia on this one based on how they played the last couple games. They've shown improvement with their new quarterback JT Daniels. The offense looks like it's clicking a little bit more. Their defense is still what it is. You know, one of the best defense in the country. You got to give Georgia props, even though I hate to most of the time. You know,
after that game, I probably won't be able to watch Uncle Lou for like 2 months.
So I'm going to Georgia on that.
He's gonna be up in the clouds. I might not be able to watch Uncle Lou for 2 months because he's gonna be way up in the clouds.
Nah, I think Uncle Lou will be level-headed on this one. It's Cincinnati. It's
I'm just messing with him.
Yeah. He said Cincinnati better than Florida.
Oh, that's a statement right there. That is a statement.
Oh man, Florida fan making excuses for Florida already. We were looking ahead.
Hey, I hate jumping off here, but I got to, man. I gotta finish putting 2 bites together. We're trying to get some Christmas stuff done today.
All right, man. No problem. Take it easy, boss.
All right, man. We'll see you next show, man.
All right, definitely.
Merry Christmas.
You too, boss. All right, so the VRBO Citrus Bowl, that's yet to be announced. So now college football playoffs, you got number 1 Alabama versus Notre Dame. AT&T Bowl, Arlington, Texas. This is the one that most people are going to be most likely to look forward to. Well, Clemson versus Ohio State also. I think most people would like to see if Notre Dame is really worthy of where they put them. Do they belong? I don't think so. But what's y'all thoughts on this? Alabama versus I'm already saying Alabama versus Clemson because, you know, that's what I think is going to be in the championship. But Alabama versus Notre Dame, who y'all got? Alabama versus Notre Dame. After watching Notre Dame get the post beat out of them yesterday, I'm going Alabama. I seen Alabama went up in an offensive fight with Florida. Like both teams, they really didn't have no defense. I think Alabama will just outscore Notre Dame. Okay, so mommy boy says he got my Bama. Bergie got Bama. Florida fan got Bama. Jay Play say Bama big. He say Oklahoma will beat Cincinnati. Well, they're not playing each other. They'll be playing Georgia. So Cincinnati and Georgia. Florida Trucker says Bama by 21 plus. Bama. Trevor says Maiden Day says Bama. Trevor says Bama. Oh man. Okay, so it's a Bama sweep. Nobody believes in Notre Dame, rightfully so. Okay, let's see here now. Clemson versus Ohio State. 8:45 p.m. ESPN. That'll be in New Orleans. Clemson versus Ohio State. Who y'all got in this one? Clemson versus Ohio State. You say Notre Dame's not scoring on Alabama. I think I don't like Notre Dame, but I do think they will score. But Florida fans going with Ohio State. So he think Ohio State is going to pull the upset on Clemson this time around. Bergie's going Clemson. I'm right along with you. I think Clemson gets it done. I think Ohio State kind of showing their weaknesses the past couple games, and Justin Fields starting to look like he's human. Brad says he's going with the Buckeyes. Of course, that's his team. Jay Play got Clemson. Florida Trucker got Clemson by 7. Since he would beat Florida by 7 or less, I got 31-27. Who knows? Hurricane Kilo is going with Clemson. Clemson blowing out Ohio State. I think it'll be a close. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I do think Clemson win in the end. Miami boys going Clemson. Jordan's going Ohio State 35-31. Trevor got Clemson. Bergie say Lawrence is a freaking beast. I totally agree with you. He showed yesterday that game between Notre Dame and Clemson, he was definitely the deciding factor, especially the first time around. That, him not being there and Notre Dame won that game shows that maybe if he was there the first time around, Notre Dame wouldn't even be where they're at right now. Cynthia, what's going on? Cynthia said Ohio should be playing Bama and rematch Clemson versus Notre Dame. Now, we don't want to see that. We just seen Clemson blow them out. I think the committee knew what they were doing too. They didn't want to flip it like the ESPN guys was talking about putting Notre Dame at number 3. Nobody wants to see Clemson play Notre Dame again. That'll be just a walk into the championship for Clemson, to be honest. He said Ohio State waited a whole damn year to play Clemson. They're motivated, and Dabo talk a lot of trash about them. We'll see. That should make it a good matchup. That should make it a good playoff rivalry. But we shall see, man. We shall see. Brad said Clemson hasn't faced a balanced offense like Ohio State. We rush more than any Power 5 team in the country. But Clemson, you got to keep in mind too, Clemson do have a good run defense. They got a good run stop defense, so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. All I know, last year that game was interesting. I mean, it could have went either way, but Trevor Lawrence was the deciding factor, and he's still here, so we shall see. He said Dabo running his mouth about Ohio State and giving Ohio State motivation is why I'm picking Ohio State. Gotta love Dabo, man. Dabo make things interesting. Dabo is not one of those sit behind the mic and be politically correct and say what the people want to hear. He speaks his mind. So if Dabo ain't feeling Ohio State, we'll know about it. If he thinks Clemson's gonna get it done and people are not giving Clemson the credit that they need or they should have, he's gonna voice his opinion. So we'll see. That will make it interesting. So last time Bama played Notre Dame, it was a blowout, right? I think every big top 5 teams or whoever that plays Notre Dame beat them. Their track record is terrible when it comes to big games. So let's see if Notre Dame can get over that hump. I don't believe they will, but should be interesting. And Berger say Ohio State hasn't played a defense like Clemson's. Right. They haven't faced anything like that in the Big Ten. Okay, so let's finish out these bowl games. The ones that's already been selected. Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, not yet, determined. Outback Bowl, not yet. Okay, so PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. That'll be number 10 Iowa State versus number 25 Oregon. Oregon coming off of their Pac-12 championship, sitting at 4-2. You got an 8-3 Iowa State team that lost to Oklahoma in their championship game yesterday. This game will be in Glendale, Arizona, 4:00 on ESPN. Who y'all got? Do you think Iowa State gonna bounce back and beat Oregon, or you think Oregon's gonna make a run, to finish off the season? Anybody got who y'all got in that one? Got Iowa State versus Oregon. Miami Boy says Iowa State bounces back. Bergie's taking Iowa State. Jordan's always got to be different. He's taking Oregon 24-17. Scott's taking Oregon. Maiden Day going with Oregon. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting one to watch. This one's pretty much even when it comes to prediction picks. A lot of people going with either one. You got Trevor says Iowa by a touchdown. Iowa by a touchdown. Okay. Okay, so you got the Capital One Orange Bowl. Down in Miami Garden, Hard Rock Stadium, 8:00 ESPN. Texas A&M sitting at 8-1 versus North Carolina sitting at 8-2. Number 13 North Carolina versus number 5 Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher versus Mac Brown. Who you guys got? North Carolina versus Texas A&M. Who y'all got in this one? Okay, Maiden Date is going with Jimbo Fisher. Florida fan, Texas A&M, because they want to prove a point to the committee that they basically got snubbed. They should have been in there. Notre Dame should have been in there. Okay, Miami Boy says Texas A&M. Bergie says Texas A&M. Jimbo is pissed. He's going to make an example of North Carolina. I hope so. Jordan say I'm taking Texas A&M because they are angry. That is the stat. Okay, Cynthia's going Texas A&M. Scott say I'm a UNC fan, but yeah, he think North Carolina is gonna get smoked, and he's a North Carolina fan, so I'm not gonna argue with him. Scott, I'm at Texas A&M. Okay. Winless Jet beating the Rams. Oh, thanks for telling me, Panama Jack. My Rams is losing to the winless Jets. So we might give the Jets their first win of the season. Terrible. Hope not. North Carolina win by 10. Wow. North Carolina. Okay, so Trevor says North Carolina beating Texas A&M. Brad also going with North Carolina. Football fan says, damn, Jets don't want to draft Trevor Lawrence. I mean, hey. I think the Rams will get it together, or the Jets will get their mind together and say, you know what, we might as well just lose this game. Give it to the Rams. All right, let's see here. College football national championship game. That'll be in Hard Rock Stadium, 8 o'clock, January 11th on ESPN. So, national championship game. So most of you guys says Clemson will beat Ohio State. And most of you guys says Bama will beat Notre Dame. So it's looking like another Clemson versus Alabama championship rivalry. Clemson versus Alabama. Who you guys got? Clemson versus Alabama. Who you guys got and score prediction? Based on what you've seen from Alabama and Clemson so far this season, Clemson versus Alabama, national championship, who you going with? Saban versus Dabo. Brad says the Ohio State versus Bama. You're the only one, buddy. You're the only one on that one. Yeah, Maiden Day say Saban versus Dabo. Okay. Jordan says I'm taking Bama versus Ohio State, and I got Bama winning it all. Okay, so Brad, you're not alone. Okay, so Miami Boy says Bama. Bergie got Clemson coming out with a win. I'm with you on that one. I also think Clemson will get it done. And that score prediction, I'm going to go with you on that one too. So Bergie's score prediction, that will be my score prediction. Said, well, Alabama versus Clemson again. Yep, it's been that way for a minute now. Clemson 45, Bama 38. Classic battle between Bama versus Clemson. Miami Boy says Bama 24, Clemson 17. Okay, so you think Bama's going to win this one. Hurricane, how you feel about our players opting out of the bowl games? Logan, I'm going to put the link in the chat, and you come on in here, and you can give your thoughts and let us know. So the link is in the chat, Logan. You can just come on in. Bama wins by 3. It said the ACC up. Said it again. Yeah, we got 2. Well, I don't really count Notre Dame, but if you want to count Notre Dame, then you could say we got 2 ACC teams in the championship, in the playoffs. But I don't count Notre Dame because they're technically not here for the long run. They're just here for this season. And maybe next season, if the COVID-19 situation, or if the new commissioner stick it to Notre Dame and says, hey, look, you either going to join and play the next, the contract for ACC, I think it's till the 2035 season. So you either going to be in here till 2035 or you're not going to be in here at all. Go somewhere else, find a way to make you a schedule. But I hope this new guy stick it to Notre Dame. Jordan says Bama 63, Ohio State 21. Yeesh. Yeah. Dang, that's nasty. I got Clemson winning it all because Bama defense sucks. Yeah, they defense has been looking suspect all season. But that says a lot about the teams that they've beaten in the SEC, because they've beaten Florida, they've beaten Texas A&M, they've beaten Georgia. So Georgia was known for having like the number one defense in the country when they beat them. So their defense is terrible, but their offense is on point. They can put up points. It's the ACC at the Hard Rock. Logan says can't right now. Trying a bit. Okay, man. Anytime you're ready, just let me know. I'll put the link in there for you. Bergie with the $10 donation. Just wanted to say thank you for how you operate your program. Keep up the good work. Hey, thank you, Bergie. I really appreciate that, boss. That's a touchdown for the channel. Appreciate that, man. It's all about the you, baby. Where is that? Where is that all about the you? I know I had that all about the you. Where's my all about the you? Oh, no. I can't find it. All right. Okay, so Miami boy think Nick Saban's going to clean up the defense. And what I did see from Alabama in that game versus Florida was passion. That passion that Nick Saban has. You seen when the defense messed up, he was on his defensive coordinator. He was getting on them. And that's what I'm expecting from Manny Diaz. When Blake Baker and those guys are not, getting it together, not doing the right thing, we getting, destroyed on the field, get at those guys. I haven't seen Manny with an angry face all year, to be honest with you. I've never seen Manny mad. Have any of you guys seen Manny mad before? Have y'all ever seen Manny on the sideline pissed off? I don't think I've ever seen Manny mad. He said, we can't forget about what happened in 2019 when Clemson played a good Alabama team with Toa. Right. I mean, we also seen Clemson beat Alabama twice. So, with Trevor Lawrence and with Deshaun Watson. So, like I said, this championship rivalry could go either way. They both had their ups and downs against each other. So, I think if I'm not mistaken, Bama's beaten Clemson, I think, if I'm not mistaken, twice. And Clemson's beaten them twice. So if they make it to the championship this year, both playing each other, this will be kind of like a tiebreaker. And they might, who knows, based on how things are looking recruiting-wise and all those good stuff, they might meet up sometime soon again. All I know is I'm hoping that Miami could have a say-so in the near future on ACC championship, on playoffs and stuff like that. But as of right now, Clemson and Alabama, they still looking good. They still loaded for next season. They got great classes coming in this season too. said the ACC helped Notre Dame pimp their way. Right. Them not letting Clemson and Notre Dame play that on the 12th, the week before this, ACC championship, kind of was suspect to me. Notre Dame went into there with, 10-0. They played 10 games, which, they could have scheduled somebody else. The ACC was trying to schedule 11 games. So them basically giving them a day off, kind of put them both right in there, preserve the game. But at this point, I totally don't care because we went out and lost our game to North Carolina, and it basically took us out of the play field. We wasn't a factor after that. So, there was no argument to make. Yeah, my girl is cooking right now. It's tough, man. It's tough. BB say go Gators. Yes, somebody can hear you cooking. Okay. I'm trying to catch up to the chat. He PM me. Hold on, let me check. Okay, so Logan just sent me a picture of Manny Diaz looking mad, and that was the game against Central Michigan last season, which, by the way, we won that game by 5 points. So, yeah, I think Manny had a lot of reason to be mad, but other than that, I don't think I've ever seen him mad. I don't even think I've ever seen Manny snap, throw his hat, throw the headphones or anything. I think Manny is just too calm. He's just too calm, man. He don't let out his frustrations. Where you got a guy like Dabo Swinney and you got a guy like Nick Saban and those guys, they will let you know they upset. NYC in the building. What's up, man? He said, fins up, go Canes. Go Canes. Oh, man. He said, don't be surprised Clemson win big against Alabama. Now, let's keep it in mind that we're predicting now. So it's not for sure that it'll be Clemson versus Alabama. Ohio State, you got Brad in here. He's a Ohio State fan. He's making his case that Ohio State will be in there. So he's thinking that Ohio State's going to knock off Clemson. So, these right now we're just making predictions. But who knows? College football, man. You never know what you get each and every week. Say Manny too calm and confused. Well, I mean, Banda's getting looked at right now for, I think it's a Idaho job. So it might be some shift in the defense. If Banda leaves, then we might see some difference in the defense, but it's tough to say right now. Like Manny Diaz says, they're basically going to reevaluate the staff or whatever. Evaluate. I'm sorry, not reevaluate. Evaluate the staff at the end of the season. So it'll be interesting to see in the offseason if Miami makes any changes when it comes to coaching staffs on the defense, offense, you name it. Yeah, we definitely got good wide receivers coming in. My most The one that I'm looking most forward to, and I'm looking forward to all of them, but the one I'm looking most forward to is Brashard Smith. Dude is a speedster. Dude is a speedster. Now, let's just hope we develop this guy because we had speedsters, over the years. Most recent, Jeff Thomas, and that didn't quite work out. But Jeff Thomas went through different issues on the field and off the field, and development wise, different coaches. So let's hope that this offensive staff can stay together and develop these players, especially a guy like Brashard Smith. Jay Play say, "Where's the picture from Clemson or UNC?" Yeah, I didn't even see Manny mad when we got blown out. And listening to his press conference after blowouts, it's like, huh, Manny? Did we watch the same game? Did we see the same things? Because you got away with words, buddy. I think that's why most of the time a lot of people have been saying over the years that, Manny's like a car salesman. So we shall see. You say King one more year. That's yet to be announced. King hasn't said anything yet. So we'll probably hear more about this after the bowl game and then, the upcoming NFL Combine. So we'll know by then whether or not King's going to make his decision to stay. But we should know probably before the bowl game, if not after. You say Nick Saban was up 31-3 at one point last night and was ripping. No, you mean Dabo. Dabo was up because Nick Saban never got that chance to be up 31-3. Florida kept that game close from the beginning. Well, coming into the second half, Florida really turned up, but I think you're talking about Dabo. So if Dabo were to promote Banda to defensive coordinator, what's the future for Blake Baker? Do you think he's going to demote him? Do you think Blake going to stay? I mean, I don't know how Blake Baker's going to take that. I don't know if he's going to stay. And depending on what the offer is for Banda to, go to Idaho or Utah or wherever he's being offered, it'll be tough to see. But I wouldn't be surprised if Manny do promote him to keep him. But we'll see because he is a great recruiter from what I'm hearing. Hey, thank you, Brad. I really appreciate that, man. Logan says, I think King is coming back too. I hope he does. But if he don't, then it's going to be interesting to see who starts at quarterback next season. We do have a few guys on that list. Some of you guys might like a few of them better. Some of you guys might see some other chances of this guy starting better than that guy. But if we don't see any spring practices, if we don't get to see any practices like we did this season, we're just going to have to, wait and see who they give the job to. But if King doesn't come back, you got N'Kosi Perry, you got Tyler Van Dyke, you got Matoka, and Jay Garcia. And not quite sure what the deal is with Tate Martell. I think a lot of us probably already moved on from Tate Martell, but if Tate Martell comes back, then you have Tate Martell. And kind of out of nowhere, but Jaron Williams signed with USF. Also, Christian Williams, who hit the transfer portal this season, he also signed with USF. So both of those guys are at USF this upcoming 2021 season. So it'll be interesting quarterback battle. It'll be up for grabs, but I do think if De'Aaron King come back, it'll be his starting job. Now, who will back him up? That'll be all competition. And keep in mind also that the first game of the season will be against Alabama. So we might be playing an Alabama that just coming off a national championship or coming off a loss in a national championship. Hold on, I'm trying to catch up. Trying to catch up to the chat, guys. I don't think King say anything till after the bowl game. Right. I'm with you on that. It's either right before the bowl game or right after. But until, he makes his announcement, all we can do right now is speculate. My maiden day, he will be replaced. I'm guessing he's thinking about Banda or Blake Baker. You say Blake Baker can go find Dan Enos and join him. Well, it's not too hard to find Dan Enos. Dan Enos will be playing in a New Year's Six bowl game for Cincinnati. Dan Enos is the running back coach at Cincinnati. So, he did get fired as the OC from Miami last season. As you guys saw, his offense was terrible. Took too long to develop, and he should have knew better to basically adjust because our O-line was kind of terrible. So those long developing plays was not working. So Dan Enos fired, went over to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's looking good. Granted that, he's not the one calling the plays, but, Dan Enos doing good for himself. I will say that. He said if Vander gets promoted, Blake's gone. I mean, at this moment, I think the Miami Hurricane fan base is pretty fed up with Baker. Everybody's been vocal about it. Anybody that's that runs a Miami Hurricane, social media or platform that gets any attention at all has been very vocal. Everybody's came out and said basically they want him out of there. It's to the point where Manny can't even ignore it. It's being said everywhere. The whole fan base is saying it. So we're going to see how that goes in the offseason. If all we do is promote Banda to DC, then Manny can kiss his job goodbye. He'll be fired by 2023, if not sooner, doing that. Real head coaches learn from past mistakes and not make them worse. Right, because if Banda gets promoted, basically he's going to be running the same scheme that Manny runs. If he promotes him, he's basically Blake Baker 2.0 or Manny 2.0. He's going to be running the same thing. He's going to be doing basically whatever Manny does. We need a change. We need a different defense. What Manny has been doing is not working. Our defense has not been progressing. It's been digressing. If you look at, where we stand in the country for the past 3-4 years, we haven't been going up. We've been dropping. I think we went from like 13 to 35 to now. I think we're at like 60 something, if I'm not quite mistaken, from the last time I looked at it. So the defense is not getting better under Blake Baker. And Blake Baker is pretty much running what Manny wants. Next man up mentality. We need a total new defense. To be honest with you, we need somebody that has not been working under Manny to call them defensive plays. Miami boy said, I can't believe Tate's still there. Yeah, he opted out this season after getting in trouble. He was going to be suspended, I think, for 1 or 2 games, but he opted out anyway. So, here's what it is. Berge says Tate will not be on the roster next season. I don't believe he will be either. But as of right now, nothing's been said. He hasn't made any decision to leave Miami. So we just got to keep him in the back of our mind. But I don't think he'll be there. Tate graduate summer 2021. Hey, can't get a better education than University of Miami. So, it might not be a win on the football field for him, but it'll be a win academically. It'll be a win in whatever career he decides to pursue in the future. Hurricane Miller says next season we're doomed. Oh man, why you think so? You don't think we're gonna improve moving forward? You don't think the guys that we coming in and the guys that we played this season are gonna get any better? No blooded says T2Y Bama will win it all. I'm going with Clemson, sir. I'm going with Clemson. I'm not picking Clemson because I'm an ACC homer or anything like that, but I'm going with Clemson based off what I've seen yesterday. So it's just based off impression. From what I seen Clemson did yesterday, plus what I seen with Alabama's defense versus Florida, I think Clemson will edge them out in this one. Cynthia said, we're still good, but Alabama players jumping into the pro NFL quickly. Yeah, Alabama, we can't deny it. Alabama has been recruiting top classes for a long time now. And their bad season, which a lot of people say they had a bad season last season, but when you look at it, they had 10 wins last season. A bad season for them is 10 wins. So with the kind of players that they recruit, the top classes that they get, and they do get developed, it's like when they go into the NFL, it's like a total different story. I don't know why that is, but when you watch them play on a collegiate level, they are dominant. They are getting it done. Their wide receiver last night was totally amazing. Number 6, I think it's Devin. Same. I'm looking at their running back, number 22. He had a phenomenal night. I mean, you got 3 players on their team right now that could get Heisman votes. Their quarterback, Mac Jones, their running back, and their wide receiver. So they are an offensive team. They could get it done offensively. Defensive-wise, that's where, the questions are. But I'm not saying that they can't beat Clemson. I'm just saying I think Clemson will win. I could be wrong. But January 11, we'll find out. That's if Notre Dame and Ohio State doesn't have anything to say about that. Logan say, I'm tired of dudes leaving early. I mean, at the end of the day, I would love to see our guys come and stay 4 years, especially the guys that, been doing well, especially in their junior season. I'd love for them to come in and do great and everything like that, and stay for their 4th year. That 4th year probably could be, a major deciding factor to whether, we go to a New Year's Six bowl game, make a playoffs or stuff like that, because we have the depth to do it. But I can't also blame those guys if they do decide to leave early, because at the end of the day, you don't know what's going on with their families. You don't know financial situation, who needs what, or, half of the decisions that they make. So at the end of the day, we as fans, we can hope they come back for their fourth year, their senior year. But if they go, wish them well. Hope they do good, and that's it. Jay Play says, if we go to Atlanta and get killed, what do we do with this staff? Well, if we go to Atlanta and get killed, we're gonna be stuck with that staff for the whole season. We just gonna have one of those seasons where if Alabama beats us and blow us out or whatever, we just gotta hope that they just regroup and keep it pushing. Because if we give up after a beat, after Alabama beat us, whether it's a regular, win or a blowout, then it might send the wrong message to recruits after that. So Miami takes a loss, and then they just throw in the towel for the rest of the season. Nah, if we lose that game, which a lot of people is going to predict us to lose that game, we're going to go into that game as an underdog, and it's possible that we lose. So keep that in mind. Go into that game, play our hearts out, and continue the rest of the season. I mean, we put a lot of hype behind it because it's Alabama. They've been in the playoffs. They've been winning championships. They've been doing this and that. We kind of trying to see where we measure up. But at this point, we've been playing teams like Clemson all the time now for, the past 3 years. We could use them as a measuring tool also. So just go out there, play, win or lose, come back, go back and keep playing. Just keep playing. Don't give up. Don't show that game defeated us. Because we want to do right now. We got two recruiting class, the 2020 class and this 2021 class coming in. We want to keep building off of that. We want to keep stacking up players. We need depth, especially at certain positions. Like right now, position wise, that I think Miami is lacking, and a lot of you guys can see it also. Linebackers, cornerbacks. We need to improve in both of those areas. Now, linebackers, we are going after a couple guys in the transfer portal. The guy from USC, I'm not even going to try to say his last name, but it's I think it's Palu. We're going after him. He's from USC, five-star linebacker. Bubba Bolden and Brevin Jordan has been making a case to try to get this guy to come to Miami. Nothing has been said yet, no updates on that, but he's still in the transfer portal. Another guy that I think we should go after is the guy from the cornerback from Michigan, Jarrett. I think we should go after him also. I've been watching footage on him, watching his highlights and stuff like that. I think he'll be a great fit for Miami, especially coming into that cornerback position. And got to keep in mind, too, Miami signed 21 players this season. So we still got room to sign, I think, at least 4 more because I think the NCAA gave us 25. So we still got room to sign like 4 more players. So I think given that, we should go after defensive players, especially in the cornerback position and in the linebacking position. He said, Coach Baker just tweeted and turned off comments. Yeah, I've been seeing that with Baker for the past since the North Carolina game. If you go to his Twitter, all his comments are turned off. If you go to his Instagram and stuff, his social media, most of his comment sections is turned off. Why? Because a lot of angry fans are getting at him. A lot of angry fans are telling him basically, we don't want you here. Basically, you're not ready for this. Basically, this job is too big for you. You're in over your head, I mean, I personally haven't tweeted at him or said anything. I've just made videos and aired out my feelings, but going to his social media and saying anything to him, I'm not going to do that. It is what it is. At the end of the day, let the coaching staff, let the AD and all those guys handle that. Juice the Truth says, I believe that Cam finna leave us. With Cam's situation, Cam got two talented running back that's right behind him with Don Chaney and Jalen Knighton. I'm sorry, why I say Phillips? Why Phillips all in my head? But those two running backs are arguably just as good as Cam, and if you ask certain fans, they are better than Cam. So if Cam were to leave, it would be I would kind of have to look at Cam in a hypocritical kind of way, because keep in mind that when he was challenging for that running back position, when Lingard was here, he basically told Lingard, "You're running away from competition." Lingard hitting the transfer portal and leaving, he told him that you're running away from competition. So if Cam were to up and leave right now, I'd have to look at him as a hypocrite, because that's the same thing he said to Lingard. Don't run away from competition. What I'm expecting from Cam is just go out there, get better and come out there and prove what it is that you want to prove. But if Cam does decide to leave, good luck to him wherever he goes. It is what it is. We had players come and go all the time. Oh man, Jay Placey, I think Tate go to LSU and try to be the next Joe. Well, according to LSU, they just found a new quarterback in a freshman that beat Florida. So I don't know. The road is looking pretty like dead-endish when it comes to Tate Martell, to be honest. He said Mac Jones and Trask are stuck in the pocket and can't run for ish. I don't know how good they'll be in the NFL. Well, a lot of NFL team actually likes that, but a lot of the teams lately has been going to more of a dual threat. They do want a quarterback that can actually run. It's not too many quarterbacks out there that's got that pocket present like a Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or those guys. The NFL, just like college, is starting to adapt to more dual threat quarterbacks. But I mean, Mac Jones and Trask, they're two talents that the NFL will not pass up on. And Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence kind of separate himself from them two because he is a dual threat and he is mobile. Yeah, it's definitely a business. And at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you and your family. He said that makes a university looks better when they leave early. I mean, to recruits, yeah, you come here and you could, produce and go to the NFL early. You could do it in 3 years instead of, taking 4 years to develop. That could be true. But I mean, as a fan base, we would love those guys, especially the veteran guys, to stay an extra year. But like I said, when they do leave, it's understandable. Oh yeah. You said why we playing OSU on Oklahoma State University? I want to play somebody better than them. Well, unfortunately, we dropped the ball on that one. Us being beaten the way we did by North Carolina that last game kind of pushed us back to playing teams like that. So we could have been playing in the Orange Bowl, but now we're playing in the Cheez-It Bowl. At this moment, we don't really have a say so. We after that North Carolina loss, we knew that the New Year Six was out the question. Berger said, if Cam left, let's be real, most of us would forget his name 6 months after it happened. I mean, I I, I agree with you. I agree with you. Most of the time when players leave, we forget about them. We move on. I mean, if we go back and talk about the seasons we've had, they'll get brought up, but we are just as much as they move on, we move on too. I mean, last season we was talking this time around last season we was talking Jaron Williams. We're not talking Jaron Williams no more. Only time we talk about Jaron Williams is if we go back and talk about what happened last season. So the fans will move on from Cam if Cam moves on. So it is what it is. That's why it's a business. You say Cam should drop a couple pounds and hit the beach for some workouts. Yeah, from what I've been seeing with Cam, he's put on a lot of muscle mass, and a lot of the times when you look at him run, you could tell he's not, his agility gone down and his top speed has gone down. He doesn't look like he has that extra burst that a Don Chaney or Jalen Knight has when they hit the open field. So I don't know if that's something that Feely might wants to look into, or if Cam wants to do that either. But I do think him putting on a lot of muscle mass, he does look slower than the other guys. Trevor says Cam might not make it to the NFL. It's a possibility, man. Unless he get it together, like the season that Cam had this season, he started out the season strong, but if you watch him run at times, some would say that maybe he's injured, playing injured, and some would say he just don't have that 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 it factor. You can see the difference between him and the other guys. And I think he's even showing a lot of frustration throughout the season. Because if you look at half of the games that he's played, if you look at his stats, they're not that great. He got one game he was 8 for 8. He was 8 for 8 yards. I think one game he was like 15 carries for like 60 something yards. And then one game was like, I think 15 for like 25 yards and stuff like that. So he didn't have a very productive season. At times, he showed that he could be better than what he is, but we'll see how the offseason go. I think he do need to lose some muscle mass, though. I think it's slowing him down. Tate Martell career is over. Could be. You say, when the last time you spoke about Lingard? I think I spoke about Lingard a couple weeks ago. If I'm not mistaken, I was telling Alonzo that I kind of feel like if Lingard had stayed and not moved on and go to Florida, he probably could have edged out Cam this season for that running back position. But Lingard's not here; he's gone, so he barely ever get mentioned at all. But I personally think if he had stayed here and not moved on and went to Florida, he probably could have took that starting position from Cam this season, the way Cam been playing. And, Lingard at Florida, I think he's like, what, fourth or fifth string. So I think for him, that was a terrible decision. But at the end of the day, that was his decision. But I think if he would have stayed in Miami, this season, based on how Cam performed, I think Lingard would have probably edged him out. But that's neither here nor there. We can only speculate and what if. Cynthia says, last night doing Alabama versus Florida, I didn't talk about them. I didn't even to be honest with you, he never crossed my mind. The only player on Florida that I was looking out for was um was Dante. Was Dante number 81 because he's from Boca and I actually know the kid. So he was the only one I was looking out for. He's a defensive tackle and he could also play tight end, backup tight end. But that's the only person I was really looking out for. But I wasn't looking out for Lingard because, like I said, Lingard's been like what, fourth or fifth string. I wouldn't expect to see him play in Alabama unless Florida was just blowing out Alabama and they decide to, hey, let's try some of our, fourth or fifth string guys. Wait, Panama Jack says Perry needs to transfer to Kentucky Wildcats. Why? Why Kentucky? Our last three strong conditioning coach hasn't been best. Philly has been the best, but running back should be built on speed. Right. I mean, running backs could be built on speed, and you can also build them on power too, depending on what a running back wants to do. If Cam wants to be a power back, where you give him the ball and he run up the gut, and try to be like a who would be a perfect fit for that like the bus the Pittsburgh Steelers Jerome Bettis. If he wants to be like a Jerome Bettis kind of back, then size wise he's probably already there. He just got to work on hitting the hole better. And I don't know, I personally don't think Cam wants that. I think he wants to be more of a dynamic running back than just running up the hole, because he showed frustration when they gave him the ball to just run up the hole all the time, and then they give the other running backs the ball to cut to the outsides and turn up field kind of thing. So I don't think Cam wants that. Where did Lingard go? Lingard went to the Gators. You said correct. Philly needs to change some things up, focus on football speed rather than 40 time. I like the guy, but yeah, I mean, he's done a lot for the O line and D line, but my problem with the O line too, sometimes I think they're too small. I think he gets them too small. We need some of those bigger O line. If you perfect example, like look at Notre Dame last night. Look at their O line. Look at how they stack that box. Their O line don't look so. I just think our O line looks skinny, man. They look like they don't fit the part. Yeah, he said Bettis was only good for short yard pickups. Yeah, that's what I'm saying with Cam. If Cam's thinking about being a muscle back, being built like that, that's what's going to end up happening. He's not going to have the speed to have them big breaks that he's probably trying to have. He'll probably be put in on like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 kind of thing. Pick up the short yardages, run through the line kind of thing. I think Cam don't want that. He say it's funny how two quarterbacks from South Florida play the NFL game in Miami. Do not get either of one of. I mean, we've struggled. We've struggled over the years with quarterbacks, whether it's us developing them or them not fitting the offense, or you could blame it on coaches coming in and out, different coaches coaching them. But we've had our struggles. But when you look at other teams that develop quarterback versus ours, like perfect example this season, Derek King. Derek King came in here. He looks phenomenal running into the scheme. Now, sometimes he did has ups and downs, but he looked like he has, leadership, and he has been developed correctly. So, and then when you look at guys like Bubba Bolden, Jared, what's the name? Jared Williams on the O line. Then you look at Quincy Roche. You look at Jalen Phillips. Those guys are all transfers. They all came here already developed. So when you look at awards that's being presented this year, you got all those guys that are transfers. None of the guys that was recruited by Miami and developed by Miami is on any of those lists for any awards. And those guys that we get out the transfer portal seem to come here and they stride. That either, to me, that says that our coaches here ain't developing them, or coaches at other school are on a different level. But, they do say Miami do not like to pay coaches, and that's why we end up with what we got right now, because they don't want to put enough money into the football program to get us some good coaches. I agree, T2Y. The strength on the O-line is an issue. We have big guys, but they're not strong as far as enough. Well, Philly has to fix that technique. Yeah, the coaches got to, train them better, teach them better techniques, work to their advantage. And Manny's defense, like when you break down tape, sometimes some of those guys are being heroes. To be honest, they're forgetting their assignment when they see an extra guy coming and they're letting their guy loose, trying to prevent something from happening. When if they just play their position, then plays might turn out different. He said, exactly, Tito. I don't understand why we run Cam up the middle. Makes zero sense. Lastly, need to fix that. Why aren't we playing our players to their strength right? But right now, Miami just got to focus on Oklahoma State. That's what we playing in our bowl game. That'll be in Orlando. So we'll see where we go from there, coaching wise. Let's see if Manny makes any change this offseason. Fans wanted Enos gone. Enos gone. Fans want Blake Baker gone. Let's see if they're going to give the fans what they want. Let's see if they're going to make any change to the defense at all. Because, turnovers has gone down. Sacks, tackles for loss, and all those are gone down. It hasn't been picking up. We've been, dropping in the stats, in rankings, you name it. We haven't been progressing. We've been digressing. So we'll see if any changes that's going to make. Now, I do believe if we had beat North Carolina, a lot of fans would have still want Blake Baker gone, because we've been very vocal about that all season. I want to say he's not a full four-quarter guy. And a lot of people have been saying Manning has been taking over the defense in the fourth quarters. And if you look at most of those games, the fourth quarter is when the defense is really turned up. So we'll see, because to be honest, if Manning's the one that's calling the plays in the fourth quarter that we've been winning game and the defense has been looking great, then why do we need Baker? I'm gonna leave it on that. Now, I'm gonna do my research, look at Oklahoma State, do breakdowns, and I'll drop a video on my preview, my thoughts on all that. I'll drop that sometime during the week, or when we get closer towards playing that bowl game. And then we'll probably find out, who's gonna play, who's not gonna play, who's gonna opt out, that kind of thing. So I'll do those videos later on down the week or closer towards the game. And thank you guys for coming through. Thank you guys. Make sure you hit that like button for me if you haven't also. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And thank you guys. I'm out. Y'all have a good night.